Great peace, great peace, great peace, great peace. You ever felt like you were at a point where you felt the progenitors in your family, when they decided, I'm going to have a daughter or a son who looks like me? You know, the appearance, the way that you look, and they thought again, I want to have more children so I can define my legacy. And this is what you see all over America. You see it all over America, right? And they decide, I'm going to sleep with this person who is biracial, and I'm going to have biracial children with this person. And the children, you slide them up in a family photo. You got the dark skin one, you got the light 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 skin one. How does this dark one feel? This dark skinned person, right? How does he feel? How does she feel? Does she feel left out of everything? Think about that, right? We've all heard it all our lives, right? That's a red bone. There's no word for dark-skinned women. Dark-skinned man don't say chocolate woman. White man don't say chocolate woman. What's the word for dark-skinned woman? We know about the red bone. Because when I was coming up, all the dark-skinned men or the dark-skinned women, they would be with the red bone. You know what I mean? They had words for the males too, who were high yellow, high brown. They had words for them, like, terminology to describe how they look in a sort of fetish and an exponential way. Like, how does that dark-skinned sibling feel? How does she feel? How does he feel? How do you explain to him that, or her, as a mother, as a father who may be dark-skinned, right? How do you explain to your only dark-skinned daughter and your son, and you say, the temperament that I told her or him, this day you're going to do the dishes, this day you're going to take out the garbage, this day you're going to wash the clothes, this day you're going to wipe the house down, you're going to wipe the walls on the inside out, you're going to power wash the outside, the exterior. You're going to pick up the trash. You're going to clean the gutters. You tell this to your dark-skinned son or your dark-skinned daughter. This means the leverage. It's going to be imbalanced, right? You're going to have your other two siblings or your other three siblings, right? We'll just say two because the other one, it always in effect. This is my experience because I have siblings. This is always the effect where you're going to have one who's going to help and you got to have the other that's going to help. But the other two, we don't know their whereabouts, right? We don't know their whereabouts. How do you train your son or daughter to think that, I'm going to create balance in that atmosphere? And I'm just talking to someone that, who may come from a large family or a large home, How do you do that? I think that's an honest presumption. I think that's an honest question, an honest statement, like, how do you handle that? And this, again, this is what you see over in the entire world. There's imbalances in every place where you have one people who are very meek, and then you have another people who are like very panicky or very cruel, very cruel. How do you take that approach? That's something you got to really think about, right? You know, that's something you have to think about. Great peace, Yakoki.